Hey everybody, my name is Rich Cook. I'm the pastor here at Clarksville Grace Church of the Nazarene. Let me take just a couple minutes to introduce myself. I have been here at Grace for 4.5 years, came here at about Thanksgiving in 2017, and we came here from Sumner County after serving there for 14 years, after serving in Alabama for several years in southern Illinois for a couple of years as well. Going back to our 20s, my wife and I, we got married in 1993. Dana and I met at Olivet Nazarene University, one of our Nazarene schools, a sister college to Trevecca. And we found ourselves in southern Illinois. My wife's a teacher and has been since the early 90s. And I was a sports writer for several years. God called me into ministry just through opportunity and a church that needed a youth worker. And Dana and I had been part of great youth ministries as teenagers. And the Lord just kind of worked that into a calling in my life. And God imparted that on us and called us into full-time ministry. And we were in youth ministry in southern Illinois for 2 years and then in Alabama for 6.5 years before God called me to preach in 2003. Let me tell you just a small bit about my family. I've got 2 boys. Dana and I had Jackson, and then we had Grant. And Jackson lives here in Clarksville, and he and his wife Leah gave us our first grandson last summer, and we have a little grandson named Henry. My son Grant lives in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and lives and works there. Let me tell you a few things that I love about my job. I love to preach. And I love to preach because the Bible, the Old Testament and New Testament, all 66 books, in my view, point the way to Jesus. And Jesus offers good news. I don't know what your background is with the church. I don't know what your background is with the Bible and how people have used the Bible as they've communicated to you. But I see the Bible as God's letter to us, God's roadmap for us, God's reaching out to us with good news. And especially in the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, I'm kind of a Luke guy myself, especially in the Gospels, it shows us specifically about a God who loved us so much that he went to the cross, a God that loved us so much that he left the 99 and came to seek out the one. And at one point or another, we're all that one, that God left those that were safely in the fold to come and search out lost sinners like you and me. So that's good news. I love to preach on Sunday mornings. I love to sit down with people and hear their stories, give them encouragement. I love the church family. I tell people often that I am doing now what I want to do when I grow up. I've been doing this specific job, pastoring church, since 2003, and I really feel like God has called me to this, and I love doing what I do. Let me tell you a couple things that I like. I like the Chicago Bears of the 80s, Coach Ditka, Walter Payton, Jim McMahon, Refrigerator Perry era. I love Walt Disney World. I love buffalo wings and burritos. I love to run. I love taking walks with Dana in our neighborhood and out of our neighborhood into the cornfields that surround us in our little neck of the woods out east of town. I love spending time with our grandson, Henry. He is right at that cool age where he's starting to really move around. He's starting to babble more than talk, but he's about this close to getting up and taking his first steps. This is new for us. This is our first round as grandparents, and we're enjoying being this close to our grandson. If you come on a Sunday morning, I would love to meet you personally. A lot of times, when people come and visit, I will see out in the sanctuary, I'll see new faces, but I won't have that time right after service to make my way to you. If you could make your way to me and I could make my way to you, I'd love to introduce myself to you, to shake your hand, to know who you are and that you are visiting with us. So if you come and visit us here at the church on Trenton, I'd love to have the opportunity to meet you. If you're watching online and if you're worshiping with us at our on our online service on Sunday evenings at 6 o'clock. You can chat in the chat feature and you can introduce yourself in that way. You can share prayer requests with us, and we'd love to be introduced to you in that way. Here at Grace, for the last several years, we've had kind of a threefold purpose. We receive grace, grace received. That is received from Jesus. We do that when we come into family, come into communion with Jesus. Grace shared in the body, shared with our brothers and sisters in Christ, shared in community here in worship on Sunday mornings and throughout the week with our church family and with other Christians around Clarksville and around the world. And then grace extended. That is taking the love of Jesus and sharing that with others. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming and attending. Thank you for visiting. Thanks for checking out these videos. We hope to meet you and see you again soon. God bless you.
Welcome, friends. My name is Pastor Rachelle, and I have the privilege of being the children's pastor here at Grace Church of the Nazarene. And in a little bit, I'm going to kind of take you on a little trip just to show you where we get to hang out and the things that we do. But I just mostly wanted just to welcome you and to just maybe answer some questions that you might have the first time you come. So let's take a little trip and go down and kind of see what happens. Alright, so now we are going to continue our venture here, and you are now in the children's wing of Grace Church of the Nazarene. If it is the first time that you're coming to our church, or even any time that you come to our church, if you have a child that is under the age of 3, we have a wonderful nursery staff that will greet you and will find out any information that will make your child's stay happy and healthy and safe one. And so that would be the first store that you'll come to. As you travel on and you'll get to where I am at, there on Sunday mornings we have a welcome committee here, a welcome leader who will get some information if it again is your first time. And if not, then as you come in every week we do a temp check, and we do a little check-in, and we put a little stamp on their hands that tell our teachers that they have had a temp check to keep everybody healthy and again to keep everybody safe. So once they come into this area, whether they go to Sunday school down these hallways or it is 11 o'clock service and they're coming to children's church to hang with me, then they will not be released again until you come and pick them up. All right, if you come a little further with me, we're going to go down to really where all the fun really happens. We're going to go to the children's chapel area. Come with me. All right, you are now in the children's chapel area. This is where it really gets exciting. We spend an enormous amount of time in here on Wednesdays for Wacky Wednesdays from 6 to 7:30, and every Sunday morning we're here. I want to tell you a little bit about why we're called Extreme Kids. I don't think I said that from the beginning, but we are Extreme Kids Ministry. When you think about children, they're extreme. They're extreme about everything. They're extreme about the smallest things to the largest things. And so in preparing to build this ministry, I wanted to kind of encapsulate that. And there's 3 things. So there's many things that has to do with being a follower of God and a child of God. There's 3 things that we talk about every week. We talk about being extreme about loving Jesus. We talk about being extreme about learning about Jesus. And we talk about being extreme about telling others about Jesus. And those are the 3 things that we try to make sure that we've shared with them. Another thing that we do with every story we tell, we make sure that there is part of it that they can take and apply it to their life now. Of course, many of our stories were written thousands of years ago, but every one of those stories can be something that is something we live out today. And so we do that every Sunday. One of my favorite parts of our Sunday morning is this area right here, this little piece of carpet here, that I don't know if you can see it very well or not, but this little piece of carpet right here, at the end of our service, every Sunday, we have something called Prayer Circle. And our kids are so serious about it. And they come, almost every one of them come, will sit on this carpet, and they will share things that they want to pray about. They will share things, they will pray for each other and with each other, and that is absolutely one of my favorite things that we get to do every Sunday. So please, if you have any questions, contact the church, contact me. I would love to meet your children. I would love to have them here to join our group and to be with us each and every Sunday. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, I'm Pastor Micah. I'm the youth pastor here at Clarksville Grace Church of the Nazarene. I just want to take a few moments and introduce myself and share a little bit about what our youth ministry is about. But first I want to show you how, or tell you how to get to our youth room. You're going to go to the end of the hall, end of the foyer. You're going to make a right, go through the double doors, and it's your second door on the left. All right, welcome to the youth room. I just want to take a few moments and share with you a little bit about our youth ministry. We are called Sanctus Youth Ministry, and our purpose is to love God, love others, and go. I believe that is a good way to live both in our personal lives and in the lives of our student ministry. Because if we do love God, then we will love others, and we'll want to go share the love of God. So what we do is we gather. We have two options a week to gather. We have Sunday school on Sunday mornings at 9:30. We have a high school group that's 9th through 12th grade and a middle school that is 6th through 8th grade. And they meet in separate rooms and they dive into the Word and grow closer in discipleship with Christ. Then we meet on Wednesday nights from 6 to 7:30. This is a time for fellowship and hangouts, as well as worship and prayer and message. From 6 to 6:30, we come in the youth room and hang out and play ping pong and all sorts of other games. And then at 6:30, we have a student-led worship team that will lead us in worship. And then we have a message. And one of my favorite things that happens on Wednesday nights is the students who come around each other, pray for each other, and lift each other up. Throughout the year, we have a lot of activities and events. We meet twice a month for hangouts. We have church camps in the summer. We have retreats in the fall and in the winter. It's a great opportunity to grow closer to God and closer to each other. So I hope to see you here. Again, Pastor Micah, thank you for your time. Have a great day.
My name is Charlotte Moore, and I am an ordained elder in the Church of the Nazarene. I am the pastor of Mercy and Care. I love being pastor of Mercy and Care because I love people. I am married to Nate Moore, my husband of 47 years. I have 5 children, and I have 13 grandchildren. I am the minister of Lincoln Homes. I love being with others. I love bringing hope to a people that feel like they've been forgotten. So I feed every Wednesday night. Not only do I bring them natural food, but I give them spiritual food. We pray, we laugh, we cry. We do all kind of things together. Not only do I do Wednesday nights, but I go visit when I need to go. I go pray, I go love on them. To a dying community that need love, Grace Church brings love. Not just from inside the church, but we bring it outside to a community that needs hope. On Wednesday nights, I serve from 150 to 200 people. If you would love to be a part of the Lincoln Homes Ministry, just show up in Lincoln Homes on 5th and Van Leer at the office at 5 o'clock on Wednesday afternoons. We would love to have you there. If you're looking for a place to serve, Lincoln Home has a place for you.
Hello and welcome to Clarksville Grace Church of the Nazarene. I am Pastor Joe. I am the worship arts pastor here, and on behalf of all the people who are involved in the worship department, we would like to welcome you. We are a high energy blended worship style that takes place in a pretty modern sanctuary. Let's go in and take a look. Hey, I'd like to welcome you into the sanctuary. Real easy to find. You come in through the main set of double doors, and you take a left at the first, second, or third set of double doors, and boom, you'll be in the sanctuary. This is where our worship service takes place on Sunday mornings, 9:30 and 11 o'clock. We'll gather in this place to worship, and of course, we'll gather online the same way. But I wanted to remind everybody that coming in here to worship, you don't have to be in this place to worship. Worship is about you connecting yourself with the Lord. We can do that through music. We can do that through being quiet. We can do that just by spending time and acknowledging His goodness in this place. And of course, being the worship pastor, I love to get a chance to share worship experience with everyone else, and we use music and slides and lighting to make that a really cool presentation. But really what matters is here. We have to come in, when we come into this sanctuary, into this place, we have to put down everything else and focus our attention just on Jesus for a little while. So when you come into this place, into these doors, I invite you to come in, sit down, relax, put away all the distractions, raise your hands, raise your voices to the Lord because He's worthy. I hope you'll join us soon. Thank you. So if you're interested in serving in the worship department, the way to start is just to get a hold of me. You can email me, find my contact information on the website, or you can just come talk to me after service, or give somebody a message in the chat feature that you'd like to talk about being part of the worship. And we'll just sit down and we'll talk. We'll discuss gifts and graces, things that God has given you, talents, gifts, graces that He's given you to serve in this unique kind of way. So it really looks two ways. We've got people that sing, that are in the choir, that play instruments. So we got that kind of person. And then we have people that love to serve in the technical side. So the soundboard, the computers, the programs, the mixing, all the different things that go together to make the service possible. So if you'd like to have that conversation, if you've got gifts and graces that need to come to bear so you can help serve the kingdom, we'd love to chat with you about that. Thank you.
Hey folks, I appreciate you joining us tonight for our evening service and rebroadcast of this morning's service. Today is Palm Sunday. Traditionally in the Christian calendar, the Sunday before Easter, we gather together and we commemorate and we talk about the triumphal entry when Jesus and the disciples came into Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover. And that's usually an uplifting, joyful day. They proclaim Jesus to be the Son of David, and they were expecting the Messiah. So that's usually Palm Sunday, the week before Easter. And then we come back the next week, Easter, and we again celebrate the empty tomb that Jesus is risen. All around this story, though, is pain and anguish and a feeling of despair and being lost. Right before Jesus came to Jerusalem for Passover, and the Gospel of John is the story of Jesus and Lazarus and Mary and Martha. And that's the story we're looking at today. Most of us who know this story found in John, we know that Jesus comes and after Lazarus has died, raises Lazarus back from the dead. And we know that story, and so when we read John 11, we tend to race through all of the guts and the emotion and the pain and the despair of John 11 to get to the resurrection. We're going to slow the story down today. Knowing that Jesus brings Lazarus back should not occupy our brains and we get lost in the rest of the story from John chapter 11. So we're going to slow down. We're going to look at the pain that not just Mary and Martha went through, but Jesus and his disciples went through. There is a reason God does things. There is a reason God ministers to us and teaches us things in different places in our lives. Sometimes our ears can only be opened through difficulty. And that's some of what we're going to be looking at today. So thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being with us online. And I pray that God speaks to you individually. Thanks.